So what we have here today is a 1998 Epiphone Emperor II Joe Pass signature model. You know what? Joe Pass was amazing. And as a guitar player, I don't think he was a jazz guitarist. And I don't think that he ever really got the name and certainly not the financial recognition that he deserved. I think that Epiphone approaching him as a signature artist and having him put his name on a guitar was very helpful for him, as he got some royalties whenever they sold him. And this actually ended up being a pretty popular guitar. You see a lot of these out in the wild, and it's a really well built, very nice guitar. But let me talk about Joe Pass a little bit. Joseph Anthony Jacoby Pasalacqua was a prolific and really hugely influential jazz guitarist. He was born in 1929 and started playing guitar when he was about 9 years old, and then was actively out gigging and working the jazz clubs by the time he was about 14 years old. So anyway, he dropped out of high school, went to New York City, and became a fixture at the jazz clubs there. And unfortunately, he got sucked in by some of the temptations of the city, and he became addicted to heroin by the time really the mid-40s rolled around. So Joe Pass spent most of the late 40s and most of the 50s in and out of jail, and was just kind of destitute and not doing very well at all. But finally, by about 1960, he had spent a couple of years in a rehab facility and got totally clean. So by the early 60s, Joe Pass was totally cleaned up and back to playing guitar, and playing guitar exceptionally well. He moved out to Los Angeles and became a fixture on the studio session scene, and he's featured on just hundreds of recordings. He was an A-list player, and did very, very well in that environment. He signed with the Pacific Jazz label and cut a bunch of records with them, and was doing pretty well. Until about 1973, he left Pacific and moved over to Pablo, another jazz label. And Pablo gave him a lot of freedom of movement, and they also paired him up with a bunch of really, really high-end jazz performers of the day. So when he was with Pablo, he was out actively recording and touring with Count Basie, Ella Fitzgerald, Dizzy Gillespie, pretty much everybody that was really big in the jazz world. He was with Frank Sinatra, Duke Ellington, and a whole bunch of others. I think one of my favorite groupings of his during that era was with the Oscar Peterson trio. It was Joe Pass and Oscar Peterson, and I can't remember the name of the bass player, but Oscar Peterson was a phenomenal guitar player phenomenal piano player. Joe Pass was the guitar player, and they made some just amazing jazz music together. Also, in 1973, while Joe Pass was with Pablo Records, he made a series of solo records. And this was just Joe Pass, unaccompanied, no band, just him and a guitar, and really not even amplified. It was just mostly acoustic he was playing. And they were called the Virtuoso series. So the first one was called Virtuoso, and then they recorded, I think there were a total of 4 of them: Virtuoso, Virtuoso 2, Virtuoso 3, Virtuoso 4. I got introduced to Joe Pass music when I was a teenager, and my dad bought me the first Virtuoso record. And I was blown away, and I still am. I still listen to it. I think it's an amazing record. Joe Pass could play a bass line, chords, and a melody seemingly like all at the same time. I mean, I can't do that. I have no idea how he did it. He was just truly amazing. So fast forward, Joe Pass became more and more popular in the jazz scene. He did a lot of teaching. He was apparently just a really, really good guy and a very, very good teacher. And he's one of those guitarists that I regret never getting the chance to see live, or I would have loved to have taken a lesson or two with him. I think he was that good. So anyway, if you've never explored Joe Pass music, it's all over YouTube. In 1993, Joe Pass got together with Roy Clark, and they made a jazz guitar album doing Hank Williams music. And if you they made a documentary about that. It's on YouTube somewhere. I heavily encourage you to look it up. It's really good. It gives kind of an insight into those guys because Roy Clark obviously was an incredible musician, multi-instrumentalist, and just an outrageously good guitar player. So look up Joe Pass music if you've never have before. The guy was amazing. Anyway, enough about Joe Pass. Let me talk about his signature Epiphone, this guitar here. I bought this guitar in 1998 because I wanted a living room guitar. I was living alone and nobody could tell me no. I couldn't, so I wanted a little guitar and an amplifier in the living room so I could sit and watch TV and basically pluck around on some little jazz chords and try to keep my chops up. So this guitar was built in August of 1998 at the Samek factory in Korea. So it was obviously designed by Gibson / Epiphone, and it's really a very traditional, straight-up jazz guitar. I mean, what you consider a regular jazz box. It's got a floating bridge, which means every time you change the strings, you have to re-intonate it and try to hope that you get it right. I did when I got this guitar. I've always kept some really heavy flat wound strings on it, just because I like that feel. It's actually heavier than I keep on my acoustic guitars. These are 12s, and they're flat wound, so you don't get that noise when you slide up and down, and it gives it kind of that kind of warm, round jazz tone, which I think is kind of cool, and that's really why I bought this guitar and what I wanted out of it. So it is a pretty standout, straight, like I said, straight ahead guitar. It's kind of pretty. It's got nice flame maple back and sides, and a laminated. It's all laminate, and a laminated cedar top. When they introduced this, when Joe Pass was going to put his name on it, he said, "Just make it with a neck pickup only. I don't want a bridge pickup on it." But Epiphone convinced him to put a bridge pickup on it as well, just to make it more marketable, I guess. Although I really can't understand why anybody would want to use the bridge pickup. I only use the neck pickup, and I keep the tone rolled off at that. Pickups are pretty low output, so the guitar stays very clean. And I mean, if this is no L5 or no even one ES175, but I got to say it's a very nice, very well constructed, and kind of a cool sounding guitar. I like it. So kind of give you an idea. I mean, like I said, I on this guitar I keep the tone rolled off probably about halfway, which is unusual for me. Normally I keep the tone controls up on my guitars all the time. I don't even mess with them. But on this one I like that kind of deep, jazzy, round, warm tone, right? So it's not a super high-end guitar, but it's a nice mid-range jazz guitar, and I think that I think it was a great investment on my part. It's in great shape, and I like it. So. Now, I am no Joe Pass, so don't even try to compare that. So this is with the playing just the neck pickup up with the tone control at about halfway. If I bring the tone control up, you can see what the difference is. It's not bad, but I still like the warmth of keeping the tone off a little bit. If I were playing this in a band or combo type situation, I probably would leave the tone control up so I could cut through the mix a little bit. So I'll show you what it sounds like with the. This is with the both pickups. And with the bridge pickup only. That's all the way up. So it's really, I mean, the bridge pickup to me on this guitar is kind of useless. Like I said, I never use it. So I like just the neck pickup, tone off. So anyway, I still like playing this guitar really just to try to get my little jazz chops up, even though I'm not very good at it. It's a great sounding guitar. It's a great playing guitar. Very, very stable. Stays in tune very well. Very solidly built. It's just nice all-around mid-range jazz guitar. So there you have it. It's 1998 Epiphone Joe Pass signature model Emperor 2. So thanks very much for watching and have a wonderful day.